Well, hello and welcome to my madness. I'm Eric, and I am a giant Star Trek fan, as you can probably tell. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at Star Trek the Customizable card game, in particular, some of the starter decks that were released for that game. I have here four of the later starter decks. My last video, I looked over all of the Premier Edition starter decks that were released. So I have Deep Space Nine, the two Trouble with Tribbles decks, and a Star Trek Voyager Starter deck. Looking forward to opening these, especially the Voyager and Deep Space Nine, because I haven't opened them before. These two are pretty decent starter decks. One of the unfortunate things about them is that they are all fixed decks. Every Federation deck is exactly the same, every Klingon deck is exactly the same. These two are randomized, so there's a chance of getting some good cards in these. You will get some good cards in these, but they're not going to be anything particularly rare or interesting compared to the other two. So I'm going to be starting with Star Trek Deep Space Nine starter deck. This deck was released along with the Deep Space Nine set in July 1998, and it was released alongside a much larger booster pack set, so you could get pretty much any of the cards from the booster packs in this starter deck. But the starter deck also had some unique unique missions in it that you could not get in the larger game itself. So there will be some interesting items to find, hopefully, as I open up my deck here. This is supposed to contain 60 cards, as far as I know, plus the rule book. We have the Deep Space Nine rule book, advertisements for the sealed decks, listing of icons for the game, full color, which is nice, advertisement for the Fajo collection. Oh, right off the bat, I get a Jake and Nog. This is a nice card. Like that. And an alien gambling device. So I think these are the two rares for the deck, which are both good and bad. I do like the Jake and Nog, though. Really like that. I would have liked to have gotten a Deep Space Nine, of course, but it's not a bad get. Promenade shops. Now, Deep Space Nine, one of the concepts that this game, this introduced into the game is it has, I'm waiting to see if the focus stabilizes here. Doesn't look like it wants to. I don't know why. Try to get some stuff out of the way, see if that helps. Okay, so one of the things that Deep Space Nine introduced in the game was the North stations. And the unique type of card that it introduced is the sites on the Nor. So this is one of those promenade shops. HQ Secure Homeworld. This is another one of the good cards that I was hoping I could get out of the Deep Space Nine cards. That's a nice one. Oof. I bought one of these because I wanted it. I really liked John Delancey in Star Trek: The Next Generation. I really liked when Cisco kicked his butt. Dilemma arms deal. Or processing unit. This is another location, a site I believe it's called, on the North Station. So this is a good one to have. I wanted one of them too. Treaty, Bajoran, and Klingon. Treaties are always good. I really don't know why this focus is going frickin' nuts right now. hoping that fixes it. Looks like it's not. Dalrock. Joran Interceptor, so Joran ship. Whole navigation schematic. Axian Assassin. Espionage, Cardassian on Klingon. Risky business. I haven't gotten any of the missions yet. Hopefully, they're like hiding. Weld Rom. Reaction control thrusters. Raz Norvan. Jillian Freighter. Isolinear Puzzle. Parn. Dilemma, Common Thief. Exorad. So we get a nice lot of Joran cards. Talar. Dilemma, Vole Infestation. Karen Lowe's. Jal. There we go. Intercept the Marquis. So there's my first one. This one is a Cardassian mission, though. Treaty, Federation with Cardassian. Kidnappers. Durrell, Cardassian. Cardassian Shuttle. Intercept Renegade. There's my second mission. That's Cardassian and Romulan. Dural. Vendetta. Got the science kit. Bren. Cardassian. Here is my third mission. Characterize neutrino emissions. Lani Belor. Member of the Mastery of Science work on the space station radio relay. Associate. Antica's neural pathways. Or ship. It's always a good one to have for the Cardassians. How? Established station. I think this is the fourth one. This looks like it's heavy in Cardassians. Harn. Dilemma. Brief romance. Cardassian outpost. Ari. Crisari rendezvous. Another Cardassian mission. Wreck. Flaxian scout vessel. Land people. Rionage. Search for survivors. Here's another Cardassian mission. Kalita. And another Kalita. That's slightly disappointing. These are common, I'm pretty sure, but you shouldn't be getting two in a row of the exact same card. Ops, however, is a nice addition. Another Nor location. Nara. There's a Nor. This is the Cardassian Nor. This one isn't two-sided, unlike the Deep Space Nine / Empok Nor. Hal. Cardassian outpost. So I actually got two Cardassian outposts in that, I believe. Let me go through these real quick because I want to see. There's one mission, two missions, 3, 4, 5, 6. A lot of Cardassian cards. Does kind of make me wonder if supposedly they changed their sorting methods on the Deep Space Nine starters. So it kind of makes me wonder if they added like factions to the sorting method so that you're more likely to get certain factions. I got a lot of Cardassian cards, especially in the second half of that starter. plus 2 Cardassian outposts and 6 missions that I believe are all Cardassian. One, 4, 5, yep, all 6 of them are Cardassian with a couple of extra factions on the side. So that does seem to skew very heavily Cardassian. Pick this up real quick and move on to the next deck. So the next 2 decks I'm going to do are these Federation and Klingon starter decks. These ones, like I said, they're all pre-done. This one, it had started to tear open on me, but it's still sealed. I've never opened it. This one, I'm going to need to break into it, and I dropped my knife here. Here it is. Oh, come on. This just doesn't want to open. Now, like I said, these 2 decks are fixed, meaning that every card is exactly the same. Each one of these came with one unique card in them. Could only get in the starter deck. And this deck, it's Lieutenant Cisco. So we have our Federation deck starting out with Lieutenant Cisco, Thomas McClure, Starfleet Type 1 phaser. Now, one of the things they snuck into a bunch of these is Tribbles into the pictures. These Tribble cards are also unique to the starter decks. Sarita Carson, Alyssa Ogawa with Tribble on her shoulder. Now, this is the Alyssa Ogawa from First Contact set, and this one is one of the rares. Mendon is like super common and everything. Medical kit with a Tribble on it. SS Nebula, Plasmodine Relay with a Tribble hidden on it right there. Tusharona, Lieutenant Grant. Now here we have our first alternate universe character. He's from the classic Trek era. Now we have Tate, Runabout Shuttle, Long and Prosper, Rogair, Roger, E.G. Robinson, and Callaway, Gibson, the USS Galaxy, QNet, Dr. Solar, Danube, another shuttlecraft, Plasma Fire, Lieutenant Nageta, Fleet Admiral Shanti, with a Tribble over her shoulder, Warren Rand, Montgomery Scott, the super common card, with a Tribble in his hand. No one has gone before. Raxna, Starship Constitution, Modulation, Classic Communicator, Chase Michaels. Objective Assigned Specialists. Here's the Federation outpost that you need in any Federation deck. Dilemma Zeldon. 2-dimensional creatures. Come on, focus. There we go. Security precautions. Phased matter. Nausicaans. Probiotic colony. Menthar booby trap. Female love interest with a tribble in her hand. Maglock. Here we have lack of preparations. This one, I believe, is repeated in the Klingon deck and has a tribble. This one does not. So I'm going to set that one aside for the moment so we can compare later. Hunter gangs. Hazardous duty with a tribble on the body. Dangerous liaisons. Cosmic string fragment. Chula the lights. Chula the way home. Chula the abyss. This is another reprinted rare. It has a tribble on the edge of the abyss, which they added from the original Archer with his tribble. We have test mission, search and rescue, reignite a dead star, investigate a coup, diplomacy mission, cargo rendezvous. This card right here was originally printed in the introductory two-player game and is reprinted here with black border. Then we have the alternate universe doorway, which is necessary to play any of the classic era cards. For anyone not familiar with the game, one of the concepts introduced in Star Trek is that there's certain cards that, in order to play them, or there were side decks that you could have, in order to play them, you would have to play a doorway card, which gave you access to it. You played the doorway card during the seed phase, and you were only allowed 30 seed cards. So by having to play a doorway card, it ate up some of your options for the your other seed cards that you could possibly have. So here we have Captain Koloth. Oh, in his fuzzy glory. There we go. On teal. Udin with Klingon or Tribble next to him. Iridon Raider. Red. Tukar. Medical Tricorder. Gorta. Divak. Garen. Kavort. Another Kavort. Here we have Batleth. I believe there should be another one right behind it. One with tribbles, one without. Here's the true hero of the Empire, though. Got to get rid of them tribbles. Great tribble hunt has begun. Canera. Opak. Vecma. And the Vorn. Vekor. A super common card, shows up all over the place, but she has tribbles behind her in this one. Chrome. Res Q. He's got a white tribble hiding right in front of him. Decath. Devani Ral. AKC Vorcha, and Morka. He's got a tribble on the wall behind him. Classic era Klingon. Kotu, the Time Travelers. Here we have one of the side decks. This is for the tribble deck. We have a couple of trouble cards, a couple of 100 tribbles, 10 tribbles, 1 tribble. Klingon outpost that you need, of course. Dilemma, Stellar Flame. Scientific Method with a tribble in the corner. Primitive Culture with tribbles on the table. nanites, microvirus with a tribble, a desk, our booby trap, matriarchal society with tribble on the bench behind her there, malfunctioning doorway with some tribbles hanging out on the right hand side, lineup, and there's our lack of preparation. There's the one from the Federation deck with no tribble, one from the Klingon deck with a tribble. Gravimetric distortion, female love interest, and a dead end. Crisis, Chula, pick one to save two. Anaphasic organism, tribble on her side. We have study the stellar collision. They're all going to be Klingon missions, of course. Study plasma streamer, relief mission. Undersight, fever emergency, Batleth tournament. And this is where those two Batleths that are in the deck come in handy. And here's the doorway for the storage compartment that allows you to play a tribble deck and an alternate universe doorway, which allows you to play the classic era Klingon cards. And this one has a tribble on it, which the one in the Federation deck does not have. Toss these in the box real quick, and then I'll be opening the Voyager deck. Again, I'm looking forward to this because I haven't opened any Voyager cards at all. This one's a little less thrilling than the Deep Space Nine deck that I just opened, because the Deep Space Nine deck, I bought a couple of booster packs for my booster pack opening. That's all the Deep Space Nine cards I have. The Voyager deck, I bought a box of Voyager boosters, so I'm going to be doing a separate video with a Voyager booster opening. So in a way, it's less important what cards are included in this deck because I'm going to get more, a lot more. But it's always nice to get good cards. So here's a Voyager Warp Speed starter deck. Now, by the time the Voyager deck came out, the tournaments were doing the Warp Speed style tournaments. In Warp Speed, you only need, I believe it's 3 missions. And it's got a cut down seed phase so that it plays much faster for tournaments. So this starter deck was designed around the idea of doing warp speed tournaments. I don't know if it really has missions in it or not. We'll find out in a minute here. I know that it has, I think it's dilemma cards that were unique in the Voyager deck. Dr. Mabor Jatel, Bosron Wormhole. I wanted one of these. Or I'm sorry, Barzan, not Bosron. Barzan Wormhole. Escape Pod. Thompson. Cation. Seldon. Kevitt. Kazan Bomb. Mariah Henley. Now, one of the things they did in the Voyager deck, or in the Voyager cards, is a lot of the cards were released with 2 factions, or dual faction. They're non-aligned and Federation. And one of what they did in order to do that is where a normal card might be printed twice or 3 times or 4 times or whatever on a sheet of common cards. Instead of printing 2 copies of this, they'd print 1 copy the Federation, 1 copy non-aligned. So in a way, this particular card is half as common as another common card. Fidean Harvester, Thaden, Villagers with Torches, that's not good. Hazardous Duty, Sethis, 5 Settlers, DN Scout Vessel, if I can get it. Majestate Drang, Matriarchal Society, Necrit Supply Depot. Now, this I believe they included in every starter. This is the non-aligned outpost that allowed you to play cards to it without needing to have an outpost of whatever faction you were trying to play. Darium, Rita, Prison Break, another Kazon Bomb, Sorum, Engineering Tricorder, Vidian Interceptor. So a lot of Vidian cards in this deck. Ceres, Assassin's Blade, Teleri, Syst Cooperative, Up Fallon, an Engineer, Stati, Navigational Hazards, Vidian Sodality, William Tefler, Marla Gilmore, Type 9 Shuttlecraft, Catalog Phenomenon, Crisis, Ayala. So this deck I ended up with 3 missions and the outpost, which you always get. So I'm assuming that they tried to set the randomness to make sure that you got those. I don't know. So what am I going to be looking at in my next video? Well, my next video, I've already gone through all the starters here. Next video is going to be booster packs. And I have one or more of every booster pack except for the movies. That one sells in the neighborhood of $70 right now, and I just couldn't bring myself to pay $70 for, I think there's 9 or 12 cards in it. That's just too much. As it is, I paid too much to get a couple of these booster packs. The holodeck one was quite expensive. The reflections ones were kind of expensive. There's one other one. Which one was? Oh, the Deep Space Nine were very expensive as well. Bought 2 of them. I probably shouldn't have, but what the hell? You only live once, right? Some of the other ones actually aren't too bad. Star Trek Voyager and the Borg, you can find on uh, Hills right now still at a decent price. So I'll be going through all of these, opening up tons of booster packs. Have some fun with that. For right now, logging out.